There are 3,899,953,365 unreached people groups in the world. What this means is that these population groups have less than 2% Christianity. So this means they have a little bit to absolutely none, meaning they've never heard the gospel. There are 191,928,430 people groups in the world that have never heard the name Jesus, have never heard the gospel, period. So I have a visual that the International Mission Board provided on their website, and each orange dot that you see represents people groups that have never been reached. The green represents places that international missionaries live. So you can see lots of them in Central Africa, you can see a lot in China and India, and up even through Europe, European countries. So this shows how much of the earth we still have to reach, or how much Christianity still needs to be spread throughout the world if we're living a mission lifestyle like God asks us to. So Journeyman is funded by the International Mission Board, which is an organization that sends missionaries globally, but also here in the States as well. But what it is, it's a 2-year commitment to living abroad, living overseas. So your purpose is to share the gospel, is to equip one to know about missions and maybe even become a missionary full-time overseas. I had the opportunity to serve with the International Mission Board a year ago. I lived in Europe for 6 months, and I got to work with Journeyman. I got to work with missionaries that lived their lifetime, so I got to see and get a glimpse of international ministry. So that was a really cool opportunity and really helped me understand what Journeyman was. So Journeyman is a career that teaches one about missional life, what it means to live overseas and sharing the gospel. It equips one with skills to share the gospel effectively. So not only to your friends, but also to Africans, to Europeans, to Muslims. It helps you focus on a group and know how to reach these kinds of people. And it also gives somebody the opportunity to live a God-honoring life. God calls us to be missionaries. God calls us to love one another, and this really helps one know how to honor the Lord. So in the next few minutes, I will explain this job field and explain why Journeyman has been growing rapidly and why it's important and why it's necessary, especially with showing people groups before. And lastly, I will show how it honors God and why it's an important field for the ministry. So let's begin with what a Journeyman is. So a Journeyman works with the International Mission Board, which is the oldest mission organization in the world. So it's Southern Baptist affiliated, and they send more missionaries out than any other organization. So it's a 2-year commitment where you are from the ages of 21, or you have graduated college, to about the age of 30 or so, where you can be married. So it's young adult to young early marriage. So what it does is they send you overseas with these groups so you can go anywhere in the world and you will work alongside a missionary. So what's neat is they've sent over 5,500 in the past 40 years. So it's still growing. They're still sending more. They're continuing to get funding to do this. So what they do is they put you with these people and they teach you how to live missionally. They teach you how to share the gospel. They teach you how to live in a different culture, learn languages, and also see if you're equipped to do this sort of job. How they equip you, which is the second point I'm coming to, is not only do you live with these missionaries and know how they work and know how things are successful, is you also have a training session for 8 weeks where you're actually in the States, in Virginia, and they train you on your testimony. They train you on projects. They train you on your personalities and knowing what works for you and what doesn't. They train you on sharing the gospel. They train you on your groups and so on. So it's a time of not already being in the field, but they're teaching you how to be in the field and what to expect. So this is an 8-week program that they do, and then they send you to your group. So when you're on the mission field, you will meet with your advisor or your missionary bi-weekly or weekly. It depends on if you're live near them or not. So when you meet with them, they will explain to you their project, and you will work alongside them. So you could be leading English groups, you could be leading camps, you could be leading groups to go hiking, all those different things, different organizations You meet them where you are, so it could be anything from those to also working at an actual job and ministering to those people. So they prepare you and explain what your purpose will be, and then you go on from that. They also teach you to effectively reach your group. So I lived in France. They teach you how to reach French people. They teach you how to reach English people. They teach you how to reach Africans. So they prepare you for that way, because it would be different teaching an African than a European. So they really want you to understand how to work with these people and what's the best way to reach them. They also help you and encourage you spiritually, because it's so dark in these places that they really want to encourage you and hopefully get you to come back to be a full-time missionary. Lastly, is God values missions, and He desires for all people to know Him. Whether that's here in America or if that's overseas, He requires us in Matthew 28:19-20, which is the Great Commission, to go and make disciples of all nations and baptize them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, and to teach them to observe all that He has commanded, which is these exact things, and then He will be with us as we do this. So Journeyman is fulfilling this commandment of going. He's fulfilling this commandment of making disciples and just preaching the word to people. So not only are we doing that, but He also commands us to love one another. And through these workshops and through these people, they teach you how to love these people. They teach you how to reach the French, reach Africans, reach Americans, and so on. So 1 Corinthians talks a lot about love, and that's His greatest commandment. He teaches you peace and kindness and all of these things, but the main thing is to love. So the Journeyman program teaches us to love from all the world and spread the gospel to the ends of the earth. Journeyman meets all of God's greatest commandments. We meet the discipleship, we meet the love, but also He requires us to work hard. And Journeyman is a hardworking program. You can't just go and not do anything. You have to really work in it, and it teaches you a lot. So Colossians 3:23 says, "Whatever you do, work heartedly, and as for the Lord and not for men." So Journeyman teaches young adults to work hard and to do it for the Lord. This is not a job that glorifies men, but God. That's their purpose in this whole thing. So as I demonstrated before, there are 3,899,953,365 unreached groups in this world. Journeyman is a job that can reach these lost people. It is a career worth considering because its purpose is to spread the gospel to all over the world. So we see all these groups, and this whole purpose is to go and reach these people who have never heard the name of Christ or have large populated Muslim areas or whatever other religion. And this job also allows for the authentic love of God to be spread, and to be spread not only to our cities, but also to the ends of the earth. And it offers tools to do exactly that and to do it successfully. So if you're looking for a missional job, and as you're trying to gain experience, Journeyman is a great way to do that, because it's right whenever you're out of college or right when you're wanting to know more about missions. So it satisfies both of these needs. So not only do you gain experience, but you honor God and promote His purpose while doing so.